Subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia. Welcome to another live stream for your Monday night. It is July 3rd, 2023, 8:24 p.m. And tonight's live stream, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on the New South Wales Blue team for Game 3 of the 2023 Origin Series. Now, as a New South Welshman, it obviously doesn't feel right going into Game 3, obviously losing the first two games. Bit of a dead rubber, bit of a game. You know, it's one of those games where even if we win, it's going to be annoying because Queensland are still going to hold the shield up at a core stadium. So I think it's very important for New South Wales to win Game 3. You don't want to be losing 3-0 in an Origin Series going into next season. But before I give you guys my thoughts on the team, because I've seen a lot of people upset, a lot of people disappointed, a few people like the team, a few people hate the team. Everyone's got their own view on it. I want to say hello to the live chat first. Hello to York, hello to Phil Plug, hello to Will, Flash Yellow, Luke Melbourne Storm fan, Daniel Sexton, SS Storm fan, Bosky, Jason Reeder, Jim the Chooks fan, M Power. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot. And thank you very much for taking the time out of your day or night, depending where you're watching this in the world, for tuning into my videos. Again, I know I get a lot of people in the UK watching my content. So thank you very much for tuning in. And thank you very much to everyone that's tuning in. Hello to Damien from Newcastle as well. That has just arrived. All right. The chat's starting to build up, and it's good to see a good crowd. All right. Now, New South Wales have made some massive changes, but it goes like this for me. They just had too many. They just done this too late. We should have had mass changes in Game 2, and Game 1, we picked a really strange team, and we were 10 minutes away from winning. Obviously, that didn't go to plan. Game 2, on the other hand, I declared Queensland victory once the team was out because I couldn't stand the Game 2 team. I thought it was terrible, and I proved to be right because there's been a lot of changes. Now, my opinion on the Game 3 team, you might be shocked by hearing this. This is the best New South Wales team Brad Fittler has named all series. I actually like the team. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people hate it. I think this is a hell of a team. I really do. I think Brad Fittler actually got this one right. I think this is the best team he's named all series. This team is better than Game 1 and Game 2 for me. I like the team. I think it's well balanced. I'm still a little bit confused a little bit by the bench. The bench has got me all over the place, but that 1 through to 13, that starting team is as good as any up against this Queensland side that have got a lot of quality. And look, I know New South Wales got a lot of injuries. No Latrell, no Turbo, no Api Coruscant, and no Nathan Cleary, and the likes go on. But I think this New South Wales team is actually very good. There's a lot of negativity towards it. I understand that. But I like this team. We're going to go through the team in case you haven't seen it, although I'm pretty confident 90% of my viewers have seen this, probably even 95% have seen it. So the fullback and the captain is still James Tedesco, which is controversial to a few people. The wingers are Brian To'o and Josh Adokar. In the centres, we've got Stephen Crichton and Bradman Best. 5'8", Cody Walker. Halfback Mitchell Moses. the front row of Jake Trbojevic and Regan Campbell-Gillard. The hooker is Damien Cook. The second row is Liam Martin and the debut of Keon Kalamatangi. The lock is Cameron Murray. And on the bench, Isaiah Yeo, Jacob Saifiti, Reece Robson, and Clint Gufferson. Scott Drinkwater is 18th man, and Jersey 19 is Spencer Leniu. Now, I want to go through the team. I don't really want to talk about Queensland because I don't really give a shit. They've only got like the one change anyway, so I don't really give a shit about Queensland too much. But with the New South Wales team, so Tedesco keeps his spot at fullback. Now, for me, I think Tedesco deserved game 3. I know he's had 2 absolute shithouse Origin games. I know Tedesco was terrible in game 1 and he wasn't any better in game 2. You can't blame it on the fullback. My problem with Tedesco is not him as a player. I know he needs to step up and he needs to wake up to himself and play a lot better. My problem is Tedesco should not be the captain. Tedesco needs to give up the captaincy, and I think a guy like Jake Trbojevic, a guy like Cameron Murray, they are the 2 best guys for the job to be the captain. I think you take less pressure off James Tedesco and you get rid of the captaincy of him. He doesn't need to be the captain. Jake Trbojevic, Cameron Murray, those guys will lead by example in the forwards. I think if Tedesco's down on confidence and then you have him barking orders, telling the team what to do, it can be frustrating if he's not playing well himself. So I've got no problem with Tedesco. I think he deserves at least game 3. He's that type of player. He's a caliber player, big name player. He deserves the whole series from me. But if Tedesco plays terrible here and we do not win, and going into game 1 next season, then we should look at maybe a new fullback. But as of right now, I've got no problem with James Tedesco as the New South Wales fullback. He just shouldn't be the captain. The wingers, Brian To'o picks himself. We don't need to question Brian To'o. He's been one of our best in the whole series. I think Brian To'o deserves his opportunity. As for the other winger, Josh Addo-Carr, Josh Addo-Carr can count himself, I reckon, very lucky. There isn't really any other wingers in the competition that are really standing out at the moment. Obviously, there's a few names that you could throw around, like Ruben Garrick at Manly, but he's playing a bit of centre and fullback. Obviously, with Turbo being out injured, Garrick's had to play fullback, and he played a little bit of centre before that when Turbo was there. So, yeah, and Tupou, look, I know the Tupou rumours were coming out a little bit as well, but Tupou's getting on, and I think Addo-Carr is better than Tupou anyway. But look, the Fox needs a really big game here. Otherwise, he's under pressure for next year as well, just like Tedesco. The centres, Stephen Crichton. I have got no issue with Stephen Crichton at all. He's probably been our best player in the first 2 games. He tried his guts out game 1. He was probably our best player in game 2. Stephen Crichton, I think he's probably one of the first outside backs picked based off this series alone. So I've got no problem with Stephen Crichton in the centres. The other centre on debut, Bradman Best. Now, this is a wild card for me. This come out of absolute nowhere. No rugby league content creator on YouTube or TikTok even suggested Bradman Best. We just kept hearing, Matt Burton will play centre, or maybe they'll go with Kotoni Staggs, maybe Sifa Talakai, maybe even Gufferson. I didn't hear Bradman Best's name once. I know we had a huge game yesterday against the Bulldogs, who are having an abysmal season, and he did have a hat-trick. Before that, though, he did it was pretty quiet against Penrith the other week, but the game against Brisbane, where the Broncos did beat the Newcastle Knights at the end, Best did have a good game in that one, and that was up against Kotoni Staggs, and he did a pretty good job on him, and he played fairly well. So, look, Bradman Best's form is very solid, and he has been good, but to put him in an Origin game now is a little bit of a weird one for me. I did not expect Bradman Best in the team. But there's a lot of people that are upset about Bradman Best, and you know what? I do have a bit of an argument for Bradman Best. I'll say this. So Bradman Best is going to play left centre for New South Wales. He's going to play alongside Josh Addo-Carr, and obviously Crichton and To'o will be on the right edge. You can't name another left centre that's playing better than Bradman Best right now. I don't want to hear about right centres. So don't give me Kotoni Staggs. You can't give me Campbell Graham, who's obviously injured at the moment. I'm talking left edge centres only. There's not really anyone else that's playing better than Bradman Best. Maybe you could argue Talakai, but Bradman Best is probably the best guy out of all the left centers we got. Left centers alone, Bradman Best is the best one that's playing right now. Everyone else is injured. Matt Burton's playing dog shit at the Bulldogs. Turbo's injured. Latrell's injured. I know Isaac Tago's a name that's coming around there as well, but he does play left side. He's the other one that you could probably throw in there. But Bradman Best, he's come through the system. He's been in that Blues system since under 18s, I think. So, look, it's a really wild card selection for Bradman Best, but I'm not against it. If you're going to debut a centre, you might as well do it in a game 3 where it's not a decider. So, look, it's not what I would have picked, but it's definitely it's a big surprise. But I'm okay with Best in the team. I really am. He'll be fine. He'll be up against Valentine Holmes as well, which is a big matchup considering Val Holmes is probably the best centre in the NRL at the moment. So Best has got his work cut out for him. We'll see how he goes in game 3 on debut. And I must admit as well, the way the media are treating Bradman Best at the moment, I think is an absolute disgrace. Now, the halves. Jarome Luai dropped. Now, look, I have an argument about Jarome Luai. Walker's at 6, Moses at 7. I'll get to Moses soon. We'll start with Cody Walker. Cody Walker has been the best 5'8" in the 2023 NRL season. If you were picking a Dally M team of the year right now, if the NRL season ended next week and you're looking for a Dally M team of the year, Cody Walker would be the 5'8" of the season. He is having a great year at South Sydney. He is in phenomenal form. He is killing it. The reason why Jarome Luai has been left out, in my opinion, is because in game 2, Luai was paired up with Mitchell Moses, not Nathan Cleary. And I think New South Wales are looking for a backup halves direction. So basically, if next year, right, if Cleary's injured again, maybe you want to have a different combination. What is the best backup halves to Luai and Cleary? Well, Cody Walker's the best 6 in the competition right now, and Mitchell Moses is probably above Nicho Hynes. Nicho Hynes was probably in front of Mitchell Moses a few weeks ago, but Origin, it's Cody and Moses. They're probably the best backup halves you got. Nicho Hynes is good, but Nicho Hynes will get his chance in the near future. There's no doubt about it. Maybe you just give Moses another game because he's a bit more experienced and he's been around a bit longer. I think Cody Walker deserves his spot. Did Luai deserve to be dropped? Probably not. Luai's been outstanding all season. Well, not all season. The first half of the year he was a bit slow, but he's been good the last 6 weeks. But Cody Walker, I have got no problem with. I'm glad he's got another opportunity. And I think New South Wales are just looking for the best backup halves outside of Luai and Cleary, because let's face facts here, guys. Let's face facts. This is reality. Game 1 next year, Origin 1 of 2024. If Luai and Cleary are fit, that will be the halves pairing without a doubt. We know this. So Cody Walker and Mitchell Moses are probably the best backup behind those two. So we'll see how the combination goes. Walker and Moses, we'll see how it goes. Again, Moses, this is his 3rd Origin. I thought his first Origin a few years ago was average. Thought he was pretty average in game 2. Not his fault because he was thrown under a bus, like I said 100 times. But this is Moses' opportunity to really stand out here in a game 3 where there's New South Wales can't win the series. So hopefully Walker and Moses have a good combination. Now let's go to the forward pack. Obviously, Jake Trbojevic comes straight in. I said the other day, if Jake Trbojevic gets through the game for Manly against the Roosters, Jake will be picked without a doubt. He's gotten through Jake's in. It's great to see. I think he deserves his chance. Obviously, Payne Haas is out injured with I think it's a quad or a hamstring. So Jake comes straight in, well deserved. Probably the best defender in the NRL, and I think he should be the captain in the next year anyway. So Jake Trbojevic, I think if he's fit like he is now, it's a no-brainer. The other one, which I'm actually glad about, Regan Campbell-Gillard is finally back in. Campbell-Gillard should have been here in game 2, as I'm sure we are all well aware. He had that one game against Canterbury, got through it well. Origin team got named the next day and he wasn't picked, which I couldn't believe. But Campbell-Gillard's back in the team now, and there's no doubt about in my mind that Campbell-Gillard will be out for a big game in game 2. So I've got no problem with that. The hooker, dummy half, Damien Cook. Again, Damien Cook was thrown under the bus in game 2, had to play in the centres for 77 minutes. And yes, he struggled, but now he's starting hooker. I hope he starts there. I hope they don't make the late switch and start Robson and put Cook on the bench. I hope Cook plays at least 60 minutes at dummy half. So Damien Cook at hooker. Obviously, with Coruscant out injured, I think Cook's the best man for the job. So I'm glad he's dummy half. I really am. Now, the back row, I think this is a phenomenal second row. Liam Martin and Keaon Koloamatangi. Liam Martin, well-deserved once again. He had a fantastic game 1, had a okay game 2. It was probably one of our best in game 2 as well. Just Liam Martin, he runs good lines. He's a very good player. Liam Martin is an Origin player. Let's just face it. Liam Martin is a quality back rower. Top 5 second rower in the NRL. He is a state of origin type player. He is a machine. The other back rower, Keaon Koloamatangi. I know everyone's upset about Haumole Olakau'atu not getting picked. I understand that. But Keaon, look, I think Haumole will get his chance if he wants to play for New South Wales. I think Keaon Koloamatangi has had a great year for South Sydney. Keaon's been outstanding all season, and I know he got injured there for about a 4 to 5 week period there, but he's come back and he's ripping in. And the good thing about Keaon as well is, if you need to play him in the middle because of an injury, he can do the job. Like, Keaon can play a little bit of football in the middle as well. He's played a little bit of lock forward for South Sydney throughout the year, and he's done a great job in the middle. But obviously, having Keaon on that right edge is damaging, and I think he'll be hard to stop in that second row position. Now, to lock forward, Cameron Murray has been picked at lock over Isaiah Yeo, and with all due respect to Isaiah Yeo, I think it's about goddamn time that Cam Murray got picked at 13. Cameron Murray is the best lock in the game. He really is. Between him and Paddy Carrigan, you can't miss them. Like, you can't really split them too much. There's not much between them. Isaiah Yeo is quality. There's no doubt about it. I'll get to him in a moment. But Cameron Murray, as long as he got through the Warriors game on the weekend, then, you know, obviously he backed up against the Cowboys. It didn't look 100% in that game. It looked really strong against the Warriors on the weekend in the wet. Scored a nice try as well. It's about time Cam Murray is starting at lock. I think Cam Murray at the lock position is a good thing for New South Wales. I think he'll do a great job for New South Wales. The combination with Cody Walker and Damien Cook at club level is straight into the Origin arena. I think that will work out really well. Having Walker at 6 and Cook at 9 just makes it a lot easier for Cam Murray as well. And Murray plays a different brand of football, as we know. Murray likes to run a bit more than what Yeo does. So I'm really happy that Murray's starting at lock. Now let's get to the bench. The bench is weird for me. This is probably the downfall for New South Wales, if I'm being honest. Jersey 14, obviously he'll come on and play probably in the front row or maybe even a bit of lock forward. Isaiah Yeo. Wow. Isaiah Yeo on the bench. Interesting move. I'm not sure how the rotation will work here unless you put Isaiah Yeo in the front row, which I just don't really know how that's going to work. I don't understand Isaiah Yeo in the front row. It's a very strange one for me. This is just my opinion, and again, you guys can have your view on this as well. if Isaiah Yo's going to come off the bench and play in the front row, then I probably would have left Isaiah Yo out of the team. You've got a lot of quality front rows there coming through that you could have went with that are actually genuine front rows. I know we've got Jacob Saifiti, which I'll get to in a moment, but Isaiah Yo, I don't think him off the bench is going to really work. I think he's more of a starter for me. If Isaiah Yo is not starting, then he's probably not even in the team for me. So it's going to be really weird seeing Yo come off the bench. I don't know how that's going to work. I know he's played a little bit of back row in the past. Then he moved to lock. I don't know. This is weird. Isaiah Yo on the bench. At the moment, I'm probably against it, but we'll see how it goes on game day. It's a weird one from me. Jacob Saifiti gets a call up, which I think is great. Jacob Saifiti is a very good front rower. I think he'll do a very good job for New South Wales. He played really well last year when he was called up for New South Wales, especially game 3. I think he had a really big game, even though we were beaten last year in game 3. I like Jacob Saifiti in the team. I think we need a front row on the bench that's going to provide a lot of impact because Jake will probably play a lot of the game, but when Campbell Gillard runs out of stamina, I think Jacob Saifiti coming on for RCG is going to be very good. So I like Saifiti on the bench. A few people probably don't, but I like it. Reece Robson on the bench is another one which I'm a little bit, it's an interesting one. Unless Reece Robson is going to come on for Damien Cook and play a bit dummy half or whatever, maybe a bit of lock forward, then I don't know. It's a weird one. I think Reece Robson's one of those players where he can play dummy half and he can play lock. That's probably about it. You couldn't play him in any other position, I don't think. So, look, Reece Robson, he didn't do anything wrong in game 2. He didn't, he probably doesn't deserve to be dropped. But me personally, I would have had Spencer Leniu probably over Reece Robson. That's coming from a Cowboys supporter who's from New South Wales. So, personally, I think Cook can play the full 80, and I do like that idea. I don't know. Robson coming on and playing a bit of lock forward is, I don't know, it's a weird one for me, but good on Robbo for getting another crack. And Jersey 17, which I believe is the utility of New South Wales, we've got Clint Gutherson. Again, might surprise you guys. I actually like Clint Gutherson as that utility player. He can play anywhere in the back line, fullback, centre, wing. He can play 5'8". He can probably do a job at dummy half if need be. He can probably even play a bit of lock forward as well. Look, I think Clint Gutherson is a very versatile player, and I think him coming off the bench, even if he plays 5-10 minutes, he will do a job. If someone gets injured, Gutherson can go straight to the wing, straight to the centres, straight to fullback. He'll do a job. Gutherson probably should have been in this squad early. Let's be honest here. I mean, we had we didn't even have a fucking utility for game 1, did we? Well, we had Nicho Hynes. Actually, no, we did. Sorry, Nicho Hynes was a utility for game 1. That was a disaster, as predicted. Then we had Cook as a utility for game 2. Again, as predicted, a disaster. Gutherson is the best utility on this squad. So, well done to New South Wales for having a goddamn brain and getting something right for a change. Gutherson on the bench is a very good one. I like it. I don't care if he plays 7-8 minutes. He will do a job for New South Wales. 18th man is Scott Drinkwater. Now, I love Scott Drinkwater at the Cowboys. He's probably a top 3 fullback in the comp on form right now. But, man, I feel so sorry for Dylan Edwards. I know you don't want to bring too many more Penrith players into this team because it isn't working with the whole the Penrith style of football, the Penrith plan, whatever they want to call it. But Dylan Edwards has been so consistent for the last 3 seasons. If there's ever a time to have Dylan Edwards as 18th man or even on the bench as a utility, my God, now's the time to do it. Drinkwater's had a good 4 weeks of NRL, and they're going to pick him over Dylan Edwards. I'm very surprised about this selection. I did say Drinkwater might get a call-up for New South Wales based off form. Would you say Drinkwater's having a better season than Dylan Edwards? You probably wouldn't. Would you say Drinkwater's had a better 3 or 4 weeks than Edwards? You'd say probably yes. So I don't know what more Edwards has to do to get a utility role or even an 18th man position. I love Drinkwater. I think he'll do very well if he gets an opportunity to play. But I can't help but just feel for Edwards because I don't know what more he's meant to do. So you guys can let me know. Should Dylan Edwards be the 18th man for New South Wales? Should he have been the Jersey, the utility player on the bench over Gutherson? You guys can let me know in the live chat or in the comment section below. And Jersey 19, we got Spencer Leniu. Spencer Leniu, he should have been on the bench over Robson for me. Leniu is an absolute gun. Go back and watch that Penrith-Melbourne game the other night. Melbourne led 14-0, right? Spencer Leniu comes off the bench, goes absolute ape shit, destroys Melbourne, goes straight through their fucking middle third of the field, destroys their forwards. Leniu is perfect for the bench. I don't see how you're going to get Robson and Gutherson to play big minutes unless you're going to play Jake Trbojevic and Cam Murray 80 minutes, which I think is unfair to both of them. Leniu off the bench with Saifiti coming on into the front row is the best thing for New South Wales. Because see, what I would have done, you go Saifiti and Leniu off the bench. You bring them on for Jake Trbojevic and Regan Campbell-Gillard. You bring those two on for the rotation. And then you have Isaiah Yeo come on for Cam Murray at some point. And then Gutherson comes on the field late in the game as a roaming player. He might roam out in the centres or move towards the middle. Maybe a bit of dummy half running, a bit of lock forward play sort of thing. Shift Yeo out to the back row. So, look, I think Leniu should have been there over Robson. Outside of that, guys, I think this is the best New South Wales team Freddie has named all series. I think New South Wales are a big chance in Game 3. The Queensland clean sweep, I think, is on hold. New South Wales are a big chance in Game 3. I think this is a hell of a team. This team should have been looked at for Game 1 or Game 2. I don't know if this team could have won Game 2 at Suncorp Stadium in front of that crowd at Suncorp, where it was a very big environment. But I'll tell you what, I reckon they would have been a bit more competitive than 32-6. It would have been a closer game than that. But overall, very good team from Brad Fittler. I think Freddie's under a lot of pressure, and I think if he loses this game, he's going to. I'll tell you this: if New South Wales win Game 3, Freddie might get next year's series. Just maybe get a last chance thing, but we'll see. Because I think Freddie's contract runs out in October for New South Wales, and they're going to sit down and have a chat. So I'm not sure if Freddie will be coaching New South Wales next year, but this game could determine just that. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the team. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, if I had to give the New South Wales team a rating out of 10, I will give it a very solid 8 out of 10. I think it's a great team. I think it will work well. I think the combinations that they are building, that they're looking at, I think is the right move. And I like what New South Wales are doing for Game 3. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all plans out. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. My thoughts on the New South Wales Blues team for Game 3. If you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this back as a video, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day or night to watch the video, watch the channel, enjoy the content, all that good stuff. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the NRL Round 19 preview, tips, prediction, whatever the hell you want to call it. But thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bring on Origin 3. I'll be doing a preview of that later in the week, probably on the weekend. But as always, have a phenomenal night, everyone. See you guys in the next one.